SES Defender of Freedom, uploading data log for days 339 to 345 of the Second Galactic War. Hello Data Archive. In the past week we have successfully contained further spread of the Terminids, but many sacrifices needed to be made. The Illuminate continue their relentless invasions on our colonies, but a new development calls for the Helldivers to strike back and save our citizens. The DSS has returned. At the start of day 339, the ongoing major order was to hold Polaris Prime and Fenrir 3 and hold off 5 Terminid attacks. With an ongoing Terminid outbreak on Polaris Prime, the defense remained the main focus by Helldivers, and by the afternoon, it was successfully defended, but it came at the cost of Errata Prime. And within the hour, another Terminid outbreak occurred on
the Helldivers system.
I know how to say it. The outbreak threatened the safety of our factory hub, and Helldivers dove immediately to contain the incursion. However, the spores from the gloom only continued to spread further, as another outbreak occurred less than 2 hours later on Heath. But Helldivers remained focused on defending Ahernar, successfully completing the defense by the morning of day 340. Helldivers super destroyers then redeployed immediately to Heath to reinforce the defense of the Orion sector. But there was not enough time, and the defense of Heath was lost, the Terminids breaching the Orion sector for the first time in 8 months. And within minutes, spores from Heath already spread to Angel's Venture and Cirrus. In addition, High Command indicated a notice that defending Heath would shut down the outbreaks on both planets. However, resistance on Heath was very high, and would require a full force to succeed in this strategy. And unable to coordinate the efforts on Heath by the end of the day, Helldivers instead ensured that Angel's Venture would be defended. The ongoing campaigns reminiscent of the very first days the Helldivers were remobilized. Angel's Venture was successfully defended by the morning, but at the cost of Cirrus. And 8 minutes later, another outbreak occurred on Moridesh, where we once had our dark fluid research facility.
Dropping a pin.
Yes, Helldiver?
Tagging map.
Oh yes, the invasion on SES? Why don't we get your SES off the destroyer?
The CC system.
Right, CC. Anyway, through the night into the next day, Helldivers remained focused on the defense of Moridesh to complete the final requirement for the major order. And by the morning of day 342, Moridesh was successfully defended. Through the remainder of day 342 into 343, Helldivers primarily continued to retake Heath, but a new Illuminate invasion on Stout signaled Helldivers to successfully defend the first Illuminate invasion in weeks, then heavily deploying to support the next invasion on Emorath, as new briefings were received from High Command. Terminid spore flow from the gloom has subsided, and the expansionist Terminids have been completely contained by the Helldivers. Though Cirrus and Heath needed to be sacrificed, losses in civilian life and property damage have stayed in acceptable ranges. Exciting new orders then followed by High Command. The Democracy Space Station has returned to operational status. The system-wide breakdown during the Illuminate invasion seems to be attributed to failures following safety protocols, which is likely due to Illuminate interference. But this will no longer be a problem in the future, as staff surveillance has been revamped. In addition, the planetary bombardment tactical action has been taken offline due to cases of being too powerful. Focus will be to optimize cases of undesirable externalities. The heavy ordnance distribution will be available instead for now, augmenting Helldiver loadouts with 380 orbital barrages. Finally, the DSS's engines have been improved to now move every 4 hours to better contend with the Illuminate threat. And the major order is to defend against 14 Illuminate attacks in less than 6 days. Already deployed and progressing well on Emorath, Helldivers completed the defense within hours of the major order. With no Illuminate invasion to vote for, the DSS was moved to Heath. The next Illuminate invasion began an hour later on Rasp, but once again the option to vote for Rasp was not yet available, making the DSS a minimum 4 to 8 hour delay to be voted on to move to an Illuminate invasion. But Helldivers following the major order still primarily deployed to Rasp despite the DSS not being present, and by the morning, the DSS shifted to Rasp to wrap up the defense. The next invasion began on Haldus half an hour later, but the voting choices had already been locked in by the DSS, and Haldus was not available. Thus 3.5 hours later, the DSS moved back to Heath, and the orbital blockade was activated shortly before moving to Haldus. Unfortunately, the shift proved to be too late, and the invasion could not be held off. And once again, the DSS was not able to be directed to the next invasion on the next deployment, and needed to wait for the next opportunity to move before deploying to Virga Bay. With the support of the DSS, the defense of Virga Bay proved to be the closest defense ever seen in this war, a defense down to the last 2 minutes. And 2 hours later, a catastrophic weather event on Heath has cut the Terminid resistance on the planet in half. However, with the defensive Spherion and the Major Order in need of support and available to vote on, Helldivers decided to send the DSS to Heath to capitalize on the catastrophic weather for 4 hours, and then send the DSS to Spherion, unfortunately too late to save the defense. Once again required to go to Heath before returning to the next invasion, the Eagle Storm was activated. Unfortunately, the Eagle Storm is not able to halt the progress of Illuminate invasions, and the defensive Cross appears to not be able to be saved in time. That is all for this datalog data archive. We are significantly behind on this major order, with only 3 days remaining to complete 11 defenses. The Defender of Freedom is deploying Helldivers to Cross.
Away,